Jim Inhofe is a ranking member of the Senate Armed Services Committee and a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, one of the 3 senators who voted against Kerry's confirmation as Secretary of State. Good morning to you, Senator.
Well, good morning, Steve.
Well, what do you think about, first of all, what do you think about Kerry saying this apartheid stuff? He thought he didn't know anybody had a recorder. Somebody did. Now it looks bad.
Well, you know, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. We made some comments about his lack of, I felt, allegiance at that time to our best friend in the Middle East. But keep in mind that in Israel, the Arabs have full citizens' rights. They have 10% of them are actually, of the Knesset is actually Arab, with full rights. And to associate that with apartheid is pretty outrageous. But again, I'm not surprised. Surely.
Now, one of the things that was said during the confirmation hearing was that if Mr. Kerry was selected as Secretary of State, we were going to have some trouble with Israel because our president and then Mr. Kerry as well, not Israel's biggest fans.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they associated both, and that has to be a relationship there. The reason, I guess, that he was chosen by our president, that's something we were aware of at that time. It actually came out in the hearing, so everyone was aware of it. And at that time, we also had some people quietly objecting. I'm talking about people, the Israelis, not any formal group, not publicly, but they knew what was coming.
Surely. Well, this shouldn't really surprise anybody. I mean, if you look at John Kerry's history, there are a number of insulting gaffes. Here's one from 2006, Senator, where he insults our troops.
If you make the most of it, and you study hard, and you do your homework, and you make an effort to be smart, you can do well. If you don't, you get stuck in Iraq.
Yeah, we remember that one.
You know, I'm the ranking member at Armed Services, and we talked at the time that took place. I was actually over there, and I will never forget the response that we got from our troops that were over there fighting. But look, Steve, this goes back a long time. I can remember way back during the Reagan administration when Reagan came up with the great idea on SDI, knowing that someday we'd need it, and it was Kerry who coined the phrase Star Wars, you can't hit a bullet with a bullet. So, you know, these things have been there for a long time. My objection, I have to say, has been primarily the fact that he's never thought any good ideas come from anywhere except a multinational organization. I'm talking about the New START Treaty that he was able to push through, the Law of the Sea Treaty, turning over 70% of the surface to the United Nations, International Criminal Court. The whole Arms Trade Treaty, you remember that?
Sure.
That means that if we would have to call the United Nations before we could send a Patriot missile over to Israel. And this is the problem that I've had for a long period of time. And it hasn't changed. Now, you read the quote there, and that was a pretty shocking quote. But listen to this quote, and this is what Syrian President Assad, after he'd killed tens of thousands of people, Kerry said he is, quote, an essential player in bringing peace and stability to the region. The same thing, and then all this stuff on climate change. He said the climate change can now be considered the world's largest weapon of mass destruction. Well, that's pretty scary.
It's interesting you would talk about Assad. So he was for Assad before he was against Assad, which we've kind of heard
something like that
from him before. Now, if people would like more information or would like to read your testimony.
The website and the statement that I made at the time of his confirmation. It's Inhofe, INHOFE.senate.gov, and you can get a lot more information.
All right. Senator James Inhofe from the great state of Oklahoma. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. 18 minutes now after the top of the hour. Next.